All right, guys, got another good one for you today. Doing a little different with my camera setup to where I'm not taking up so much of the screen. Hopefully, that'll make it better for you guys where you can see my TikToks better. But appreciate it if you give a like, comment, subscribe. Definitely try to help get me out there. Uh, Other than that, let's get into it.
So it looked like Jay-Z got more serious shit to worry about than beefing with Drake. A Ugandan army chief said he want to marry Beyonce, and he ready to get busy with Jay-Z over it. You heard what I just said? General Mahuzi Kenaruba put out a tweet last week saying, I'm giving Jay-Z 1 week to surrender my wife to me or else. This man said, if Beyonce doesn't even know me, I'm going to mount a one-man demonstration at City Square. He said he going to call this shit the I'm Here Beyonce demonstration. Mind you, I see this shit, I'm saying it gotta be clickbait. He couldn't have said this shit. Nah, but this shit is real. Went down the rabbit hole, and this is the shit I found. He wanna fight Jay-Z over Beyonce. Mind you, he deleted these tweets. Needless to say, homeboy over there in Uganda popping it. He's saying he got more money than Jay-Z. And if he's saying he ready to fight for Beyonce, he basically saying he could whip Jay-Z ass. I ain't never hear no shit like this. This is some real coming to America shit right here. If he's saying some shit like this, he been lusting over Beyonce for years. I don't think he know the whole from Brooklyn. They ain't gonna go down like you think. We ain't over here talking about meeting for a duel in the middle of the street over no lady. Bruh, he gonna smoke you over his wife. Somebody must have contacted him though, because you see he took that damn tweet down. Stop playing with Hov, man. Stop playing with Hov. So it
Yeah, that's ballsy, I think. And that's one thing we will get a man fucked up over is messing with a man's wife. Yeah, he's got some balls to do that. I don't know. I guess we can follow it and see what happens.
No modern American city has ever run out of water, but that could be about to change. City officials in Corpus Christi, the 8th largest city in Texas, say that the city is due to reach a level 1 drought emergency where water demand outpaces supply for 180 days by September. Municipal water sources could run dry by next year. So how did we get here? Two of the city's most important water sources, the Choke Canyon Reservoir and Lake Corpus Christi, have reached critically low levels due to drought. As of April 30th, they are sitting at 6.9% full and 8.8% full, respectively. Corpus Christi is a major petrochemical hub. The largest industrial consumer of water in the area is a joint ExxonMobil and Saudi Basic Industries Corporation plastics plant.
Let me show y'all how we got here. He signed not one, but 2 executive orders bringing artificial intelligence through quantum technology innovation. Because Donald Trump is cool with all the billionaires, they were all at his inauguration. He started plotting on the water and started buying up the water. I've been telling y'all, even Dan Pena says that water is the next crypto gold. And then they came out with the United States Water Reserve, and I gave this to you at a very low market cap, and it has been going parabolic because the water is scarce right now. Y'all see what's going on. There's droughts everywhere, and artificial intelligence is going to keep guzzling up water. So this right here is how I position myself early. This is not financial advice, but if you guys want to check this out, everything for this will be put in the comments below, man. We're in the digital age, man. Let's continue to get it, y'all. Peace out.
No.
Yeah, that's crazy. We've been hearing a lot about water shortages ever since these data centers come out. And that was the first thing popped in my head when I heard it. What's the way to invest in some water? I don't know. There's a lot of different options out there now. I need to dig more into it. If you guys got some ideas on what things you've been looking into as far as water stocks or water crypto, let me know. I'll be looking into some ways to make money on water. Water is about to be the next gold.
This is strange. This is really strange. On beaches all over the world, these big metal spheres or balls are washing up on the beach. This hasn't happened once, twice, 3 times. This is happening every couple of weeks for like the last 6 months at the least. This is a beach in Australia just the other day. You notice something? Yeah, right there. That's one of those metal balls, metal spheres that washed up on the beach, and people don't know what these are or where they came from. But each of these spheres or balls have a real weird thing. When you look close on what I assume is the top, you see that? You see that thing? It's something like a connector. I don't know, some type of connector, almost like a Christmas ornament. Except these are way too big to be on Christmas trees. And in most of the pictures of these metal spheres I found online, they all have that sticking out of what I assume is the top of it. And there's a lot of rumors of what these could be. Some people think they're satellites that crash down to Earth, because satellites don't stay in space forever. Other people think they could be some type of anchor. I'm no expert on that, so I have no clue. And yet other people think it's some type of top secret underwater technology that's just coming up to the surface. But I want to know what you think that these metal spheres, which are washing up on beaches all over the world, could possibly be. Let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo Booskies, Shabadoo.
Well, since it's washing up by the ocean, I'd assume it's got something to do with the water more likely than the satellites. So I don't know. I'd say it's probably just some parts off some ships or something.
Things that defined every baby boomer's childhood. Number 11, one TV for the whole house. Baby boomers grew up when television was an event. The set usually sat in the living room, and everybody watched whatever ABC, CBS, or NBC offered that night. No pause, no replay, no second screen. If you missed the show, you waited and hoped it returned in reruns. Number 10, Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday had its own smell, cereal, pajamas, and the glow of the TV before chores began. Kids got up early because cartoons did not wait. If you slept late, your friends at school knew the episode you missed. Number 9, bikes until the streetlights came on. A bicycle was freedom with handlebars. Boomers rode through alleys, vacant lots, side streets, and ball fields with no phone in their pocket. Parents did not track locations. The rule was simple: come home when the streetlights came on. That one rule built a whole childhood. Number 8, the Sears Wish Book. Before online shopping carts, Christmas dreams lived inside thick catalog pages. Kids circled toys with a pencil, folded corners, and argued over who wanted what first. The Sears Wish Book made waiting feel magical because half the fun was imagining. For many kids, this was the first place they learned desire had a picture, a price, and a page number. Even the ads felt like tiny promises. That mattered back then. Number 7, the rotary phone. Every house had a phone spot, the kitchen wall, the hallway table, or a little chair nearby. You memorized numbers, waited your turn, and spun each digit slowly. Privacy was almost impossible, especially with a long cord and family listening from the next room. Number 6, 5 and dime stores. A few coins could feel like a fortune. Boomers remember candy counters, comic books, marbles, cap guns, paper dolls, and cheap toys that somehow felt priceless. The store smelled like wooden floors, paper bags, and allowance money. Number 5, simple toys that took over the block. Hula hoops, slinkies, yo-yos, Viewmasters, Etch-a-Sketch, and red wagons did not need batteries or updates. One kid brought a toy outside, and suddenly the whole block wanted a turn. Fun spread by word of mouth, not ads on a screen. Number 4, strict school days. Boomer classrooms had chalkboards, pull-down maps, wooden desks, cursive practice, and teachers who expected manners. You stood for the pledge, raised your hand, and knew a note sent home could ruin dinner before it even started. The principal's office had real power. Number 3, drive-in movie nights. Drive-ins were more than movies. They were first dates, family nights, popcorn in the car, kids in pajamas, and metal speakers hanging on the window. Sometimes the sound was bad and the mosquitoes were worse, but nobody forgot the feeling. Number 2, transistor radio magic. A small radio could make a kid feel connected to the whole country. Boomers carried music outside, listened under blankets, and waited for favorite songs from local DJs. Before playlists, the radio decided the soundtrack. When a hit song came on, nobody skipped it. Number 1, growing up before everything was recorded. The biggest thing that defined boomer childhood was freedom without proof. Mistakes disappeared, jokes stayed private, and childhood happened in real time. There were no feeds, no cameras everywhere, and no need to perform for strangers. Just bikes, porches, schoolyards, songs, snacks, summer nights, and memories that lasted because people actually lived them. Things that define.
Damn, that brings back some memories. Everything he mentioned, except for the drive-in theaters, because I never really was around for that. I was born in '83, so. But the TV, I got a specific memory of that. Every TGIF Fridays, that was our thing. We look forward to all week. Had the Steve Urkel, Family Matters, shit like that, and then riding the bikes around the yard. Be home by street lights out. You can go one block over, one block that way, one block front, one block back. had a block each radius when I was younger, bicycle. And hell, like I said, like he said, a bike and a front porch. Everywhere I went, there was people outside on the front porch. Play until the streetlights come on. If you was good and your mom and dad was doing something they was busy on, you could push it and get a little extra time out. But yeah, man, that's fucking crazy. Times were so much better.
Morbid Facts, Part 1004. Once one of Britain's biggest television stars, thanks to her role on EastEnders, Daniela Westbrook's life was completely derailed by a severe cocaine addiction. She later admitted to using staggering amounts of the drug at the peak of her addiction, spending around $400 daily and using up to 5 grams a day. Years of abuse destroyed much of her nasal septum, causing part of her nose to collapse and requiring numerous reconstructive surgeries. She's also survived uterine cancer, sepsis, facial fractures, and repeated relapses, with her appearance becoming one of the most striking examples of the effects of long-term cocaine abuse. Between 1974 and 1975, an unidentified serial killer known as the Doodler stalked gay nightclubs across San Francisco, where he sketched men before luring them to secluded areas and stabbing them to death. Investigators believe he murdered at least 5 men, while 3 other victims survived. Police reportedly identified a prime suspect, but the surviving victims refused to testify because they were afraid to publicly come out as gay, and the case remains unsolved more than 50 years later. Morbid Facts, Part 1.
That's crazy. That one kind of hit with me real hard because she was doing 5 a day. I was doing at least 3 a day. And I got a hole in my nose right now. I didn't get as bad as her, obviously. But as soon as I seen the hole, I could stick my finger right through on the inside, right across there. Just boom. I could put a bone, I could put a straw, anything right through the middle of my nose. Because I was doing 3 a day. I don't want to say, you catch what I'm saying. She did 5 a day. I was doing 3 a day. Yeah, it was expensive habit. I'm glad I'm past that shit now.
What officials discovered inside a home in Medellin, Colombia, has left many people questioning what was really hiding in there. In a commune in Medellin, Colombia, authorities responded to complaints from neighbors who reported strange odors coming from a woman's house. But what they found inside was far more disturbing than anyone expected. Among the clutter and darkness, officials reported coming across a bizarre owl-like creature. But many locals immediately compared it to La Lechuza, the legendary witch that's said to transform into a giant bird and roam the night. Witnesses claimed the home had an unsettling atmosphere, with reports of strange noises, shadowy figures, and what some believed was a powerful spirit haunting the property. As footage of the creature spread online, theories exploded. Was it simply an unusual animal, or something tied to the terrifying legends that have haunted Latin America for generations? Some say myths are born from fear. Others believe far from existence. So what do you think they really captured inside that house? A rare creature, a hoax, or something far more sinister? What officials discovered inside a home...
I don't know what the fuck that thing was. Whatever it was fucking something out of this world. It's got to be AI or it's got to be some bullshit. Because I was looking and I could see down there at his feet. You see how his feet look? Look like a chicken legs, chicken feet. I don't know. With AI, you never know what the fuck's real anymore.
What if dragons weren't mythical creatures at all, but real animals that once existed alongside humanity? A recently discovered painting hidden behind another ancient painting in Italy has reignited the debate. The artwork appears to show a warrior on horseback battling what looks unmistakably like a dragon. But here's the question: why would ancient artists repeatedly paint dragons instead of real animals? Because almost every ancient civilization on Earth told stories about dragons. China, Europe, the Middle East, even the Americas. And what's strange is that these cultures were separated by vast distances, yet they all described giant serpent-like creatures that ruled the skies. Why? Because according to one theory, they weren't describing myths. They were describing something real. And why does the Chinese zodiac include a dragon alongside 11 real creatures? Then there's Marco Polo. According to his account, the Chinese emperor supposedly kept massive creatures described as dragons in a province known as Karazhan, modern-day Yunnan. These creatures were allegedly raised by special families and used in royal ceremonies. Mainstream historians interpret these stories as myths, legends, exaggerations, or mistranslations.
Think dragons are real? I believe it. I think they did exist at one time. Maybe at the time there was dinosaurs. If dinosaurs are even real, maybe everything we think is dinosaurs was at one point some kind of dragon. Because it don't make no sense for it to be everywhere in history as a mythical creature. Like it being on the Chinese zodiac. That don't make no sense for it to be on there with all real animals. But one fake one, I don't know.
I've had it, boy. I've had it. I'm not Scrappy Doo. I really do scrap, but I'm not him. Yeah! You don't want it.
I still have a hard time figuring out if this is just somebody being stupid, joking around, or if it's somebody who actually thinks that they're about that life there. It's hard to tell anymore because I've seen a lot of motherfuckers like that right there. We got them all over here in Indiana. Motherfuckers run around like that ain't shit, but think they are. So I don't know. Every time I see his clips, it's like, damn, is this motherfucker serious? I don't know. If you guys know, let me know.
Can somebody explain to me what is going on at this weekend concert? Now, I'm not used to him doing this, so I just feel like something is going on here, and people are saying the same thing. They got their phones out and they recording it. Something is going on. Maybe he changed, right? Maybe he's doing the right thing now, right? This is what people are saying. Also, he's been on tour since 2022. Dogs, go home already. Shut up! This is wild, actually, because he's looking like he's doing something that good people do. I remember all his other concerts, it was dark, right? Now, all of a sudden, he's praying. I mean, he's in good spirits now, right? This is what people are saying. Everybody's in good spirits, if you know what I mean. Nah, they don't know what I mean. They want to see him perform since 2022. I don't know how. This dude must have made a lot of money touring for 4 years already. People are saying that he's tired and he's exhausted and he wants to go home and sleep, but I don't know what's going on with this whole tour because that's a long tour. I'm just playing around, guys. Entertainment purposes only. Shout out to The Weeknd for doing his thing on a 4-year tour. I don't know. Does it take 4 years to tour the world? I'm not sure, guys. Let me know what you think about this because this is kind of strange. I'm out.
I don't know what to comment about this because I don't even know who The Weeknd is. I've heard the name, but I don't know what his music would be or any of that shit. But it is crazy he's been on tour for 4 years. But I don't know. I mean, if you're living that lifestyle, me personally, I would do it. I mean, you ain't got, especially if you ain't got a family, no fucking wife, no fucking kids. I mean, why not? Go on tour and just stay on tour making money.
Fun fact of the day. The original fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty, as recorded by Charles Perrault, includes a whole second act after the princess wakes up that was excluded from later retellings. It's about the prince's mother, who is an ogre, trying to kill the princess, first by cooking her, and then by throwing her into a pit full of snakes.
Boring. I might have to edit that one out. I got in one of them Temu helicopters there. Temu or made in China.
Oh my God, what is this? FIFA seriously needs to ban this guy from the World Cup because he did something absolutely unbelievable. Harry Kane suddenly turned into Darwin Núñez, and what Kane said after the match made the story even crazier. After scoring a brace in his first World Cup match, Harry Kane looked unstoppable. But before Ghana faced England, a Ghanaian witch doctor made a bold prediction. I'm putting a curse on Harry Kane. He won't get injured, but he won't score against Ghana. Almost nobody took it seriously. But then something strange happened. In the 85th minute, England pushed forward. Kane found himself with a perfect chance inside the box. No defender was close to him, and the goalkeeper was out of position. Then the impossible happened. Kane blasted the ball into the stands. The crowd was stunned, and even the commentators couldn't believe it. After the match, Kane's explanation made things even stranger. He said, "I suddenly felt a little dizzy, and the goal looked bigger than usual. So did the Ghanaian witch doctor's curse actually work, or was this simply one of the strangest misses in World Cup history?"
I believe in that shit. That's one thing you don't fuck with, voodoo type shit. Hell no. I believe in. I mean, if you can't tell by my channel yet, I'm one of them superstitious motherfuckers. I believe in all of it. Yeah, I wouldn't even been wanting to be around that motherfucker blowing that powder shit. It probably would have pissed me off, to be honest, if I was around him and that powder got on me. Fuck that. Sorry if you guys don't like that kind of shit right there. I love to watch that shit. I watched a guy build one down in the ground. I don't know, something about them videos. I just like watching them. I'll probably throw one in every time I make a video.
This handsome man was the most bloodthirsty killer the swamps of Louisiana had ever produced. In the swamps of southern Louisiana in 1879, a man named Boudreaux Trask lived alone on a remote stretch of land that locals referred to as the No Man's Land. He was nicknamed the Axe by anyone who knew of him, because if you stepped onto his property, he would hurl one at you, and he never missed. His accuracy was so absurd that locals refused to believe it until they witnessed it themselves. He could throw a hatchet 80 yards through dense fog and hit a moving target. Nobody knew where he had learned it. Local authorities had attempted to arrest him 11 times between 1875 and 1881. Each attempt ended the same way. Officers retreated. Boudreaux had a personal collection of badges hanging on his porch. In the spring of 1881, the state finally sent a unit of 40 men to arrest him. They surrounded his property at sunrise. The standoff lasted 4 hours. When it ended, only 18 men were still standing. The officers eventually breached the cabin to find Boudreaux gone. They were debating what to do next when a young soldier in the back said maybe they should just head home. The unit turned around to look at him. It was Boudreaux wearing the uniform of one of the fallen officers. He escaped on horseback that same afternoon. The chase ended 4 days later when officers found his horse at the bottom of a ravine. Boudreaux was never found. This handsome...
That's crazy shit right there. One bad motherfucker, huh? I wonder if them pictures, like that picture of his face and shit, is that real? Or is that fucking some AI shit? Well, there it is, right there in your face. I just want to know, What was everybody's first thought after the can went empty? Because mine was, did he throw that over? Where's it going to land and when's it going to land? Did anybody else think about where he threw the can? That's the first thing that went to my mind. I'm sure hell's 1,000 times worse than that, but yeah, that's what it looks like. It definitely looks like a fucking entry to hell.
This is proof the moon landing is fake. In 1969, NASA claims they landed humans on the moon using computers weaker than a modern wristwatch. And now in 2026, with artificial intelligence, carbon fiber, and 60 years of aerospace engineering, the Artemis mission just flew around the moon. NASA's own astronauts said it publicly. The Van Allen radiation belts, bands of intense radiation surrounding Earth, are a serious barrier to deep space travel. Back in 2014, NASA engineer Kelly Smith stood in front of a camera and said they needed to solve the radiation problem before humans could travel beyond low Earth orbit. That was 2014. 12 years later, Artemis circled the moon with no crew aboard for the critical test. So what exactly has been solved since 1969, when apparently none of this was a problem? Here's the part that makes the timeline collapse. If Apollo astronauts crossed the Van Allen belt 6 times across multiple missions, survived, landed, collected rocks, played golf, came home, why is crossing those same belts still listed as an unsolved engineering challenge in NASA's own documentation today? Either 1969 was extraordinary beyond all modern capability, or the crossing never happened the way they described it. One of those has to be true. On a flat plane model, the moon is not a distant rock 238,000 miles away, requiring radiation belt crossings and deep space propulsion. It moves within the dome above the plane, closer, observable, and behaving consistently with what we actually see from the ground. No belt crossing needed, no unsolvable radiation problem, no 60-year technology regression.
You guys think the moon landing was real or fake? In my opinion, I think it was fake, simply because we've never been back. If we could go to the moon in 1969, why in the fuck can't we go back to it now with all the technology we got? I don't know. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe anything nowadays, especially from the government. But I don't think we went there. I really don't.
This shit is sad because this could have been any one of our kids. So they found a body this morning on Horn Island in Mississippi. They just confirmed that that body belonged to Nolan Xavier Wells. And we got to address the elephant in the room. The people that he was with has to know what happened to him. I don't care what nobody says. You could say it ain't a race thing. You could say the people that was with him didn't have anything to do with it. But the reality to the fact is, there is no way that I believe that his friends didn't know what happened to him. And for the people that don't know what happened, he went missing on the 4th of July. He was with this group of friends on Mississippi's Horn Island. This same group of friends that he was with made it back home safe and acted like they didn't know anything that happened to Nolan. Now let's fast forward. People were saying that the last time they seen him, he was speaking to a girl. Then you have other people saying that there was an argument or fuss going on and he was involved in that argument and fuss. And now his parents are left without a son. His mom posted this on Facebook confirming that her son is indeed not with us anymore. You can read it. None of this shit is making sense. And the reason it's not making sense because it's not supposed to make sense, because it's not the truth. And this is why you need to be overprotective of your kids. Everybody who's saying they're your friends ain't always your friends. And look at the climate we're in right now. And again, you're going to have people saying that race probably didn't play a part. Look who he was with. And then after you look at that, look at all the racial tension that's going on around America. Nolan Wells could have been any one of our kids, your kid, my kid. We cannot allow them to sweep this under the rug. This shit is sad.
Why the fuck does it got to be about race all of a sudden? Because it's 3 white boys with 1 black dude. See? That's exactly why the racism shit goes on. Because the first thing you jump to is some racist shit. But if that was the other way around and motherfuckers was saying it, it'd be, we were racist for saying it. But he keeps jumping straight to the point. 3 white dudes with 1 black dude. It's a race thing. It's a race thing. Yeah, it's a race thing because you motherfucking make it a race thing. But I'm going to shut my mouth.
3 shapes nobody has solved. The last one is a perfect circle visible from space. Number 1, Wyoming, 1896. Geologists studied a giant gray tower rising from the plains, 1,267 feet tall, built from stone columns up to 20 feet wide, packed together like a bundle of pencils. Over 100 years of study, geologists still can't agree if it cooled underground or erupted. No volcano top, no lava flow, nothing. Number 2, Washington State, 1841. An explorer found thousands of grass-covered mounds stretching across the prairie, up to 8 feet tall, 60 feet wide. He dug into them expecting graves, found no bones, no tools, no builder. Over 30 theories proposed since, not one confirmed. Number 3, Hudson Bay, Canada, 1968. Scientists noticed the coastline curving into a near-perfect circle, 280 miles wide, visible from orbit. Some say an asteroid carved it. Others say the crust simply folded. No crater rim, no impact debris, nothing.
States of America, then you need to heed this warning immediately. And why do I say that? Because the NOAA has officially issued an extreme heat warning for the U.S. as a large heat dome builds across the central and eastern U.S. through the July 4th holiday. It basically means that the entire United States of America will have temperatures that average well above 100 degrees in almost every single state. Have a look at the jet stream and how it's forming the heat dome basically around the entire United States. Take a look at the real field temperatures as well, what the heat index is going to make it feel across the U.S. all the way through the July 4th holiday weekend. And forecasters are predicting a double heat dome across the U.S., with one setting up on the West Coast and the other setting up on the East Coast. Both high-pressure systems will trap the heat and humidity in the same place. And basically, this puts over 200 million people in the bullseye for this extreme heat. And this is a warning that everyone should heed right here from the National Weather Service. They warn that increased risk of heat-related illness, and they urge you to prepare now by staying hydrated and limiting your outdoor activity. And as predicted by many, this can and will be a very dangerous situation for many people. So plan ahead and heed this warning. And this is in effect from June 30th all the way through July 4th, with temperatures all across the United States reaching well above 100 degrees. In most cases, the temperature is only going to go down to 80 at night, which gives it a nice launching pad to get up well over 100 during the day. And just to add a couple of footnotes to this extreme heat warning, don't forget to check in on the elderly and those that can't get around like we can. And also, if you're taking your dogs out for a walk, don't make it a long walk. Bring water and make sure they get back into a cool area quickly. And if you have outdoor cats, try to get a hold of them now and bring their little butts in as well too. And one more note that I think needs to be said, because there's so many stories about this. Do not leave children unattended in a hot car. Please. Common sense for all. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you. It is.
Yeah, it's definitely hot as fuck here in Indiana. And as far as common sense goes, you would think everybody has it. But be surprised at how many motherfuckers ain't got the smallest amount of common sense. It's shocking sometimes.
Guys, this is unfolding to become one of the biggest World Cup scandals in its history. You see, the rules are clear. If a player gets a red card, they miss the next game. And out of the 189 red cards in the tournament's history, there has only ever been one exception in 1962. And that was only because the rules were slightly different back then. Other than that, 0 exceptions, no matter how controversial the red card was. Until today. Last night, we got news that FIFA has officially lifted the suspension of USA's top goal scorer, Balogun, despite him getting a red card in their previous game. So the big question everyone's asking today is, why did FIFA just make this unprecedented exception? And the craziest part is, FIFA have not given a single explanation or reason yet. They simply cited and used Article 27 of the disciplinary code, which has never been used at a World Cup before and allows FIFA to fully or partially suspend the implementation of a disciplinary measure. And why now, you may ask? Well, that's where things get majorly controversial, because CBS News report that Balogun's suspension was lifted after Trump called FIFA's president, Infantino, to discuss the suspension. And let me tell you, this news has not gone down smoothly. Fans, pundits, and former players are outraged, criticizing this decision as political interference in sport.
To suspend it for a year, I think it's an absolute disgrace. And Infantino, he should be ashamed of this.
Team USA's opposition, Belgium, they condemned it, saying that they are investigating all potential options to safeguard fair play. And even other football federations like UEFA have released statements saying that FIFA's decision has crossed a red line and expressed their, quote, disbelief at such an unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable decision. So now, Team USA have an incredibly huge decision to make, because regardless of whatever FIFA say, they still have a choice to play Balogun or not. And that is a decision that could literally change World Cup history. So the question is, what do you think they should do? Guys, this...
Yeah, that's crazy if Trump or somebody did get in there and interfere with that. I just watched another clip that I didn't include here of somebody broke down crying of somebody getting suspended. Well, when the president's stepping in and trying to get players back in using his power, that's, for one, that ain't right, especially with all the gambling that's been going on with sports. Everybody uses Kalshi and DraftKings and all that shit. You know, that right there ain't right for him to put his 2 cents in and have it basically where they change the rules for one person, and then it just happens to be the USA team. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against the USA. I don't really give a fuck about these sports. Like, they're the last thing I've ever gave a shit about, except for maybe to bet on. But other than that, I don't know none of the players' names, who's good, who's bad. Like, that's how much sports mean to me. But it is pretty fucked up that he gets to interfere and pull strings to make shit change. With that being said, my videos are lagging, so I'm going to go ahead and end this today. I guess if you guys would, please leave a like, comment, share. Definitely subscribe if you want to see some more videos. I'm going to do this daily, maybe a couple times a day. But other than that, see you in the next one.